Tango 1 at the top, we are at pop-up vehicle. 10-4, Tango 1, you have control. Tango 1 copy. Stand by. Stand by.
Integrity, passion, resilience. That's what this place was built on. That's what our community is founded on. Don't act like the example, just be the example. This is the home of the greatest fitness community in the world. We're trying to create strong, able bodies, resilient to injury with a gas tank to get shit done. If there's one thing from this podcast, it's about taking immediate action. Find the problem, fix the problem. This is your opportunity. It's either a hell yes or a fuck no. It's that simple. You're doing that. The Tango 1 podcast. Now is the time to take action. Now's the time to do more and be more.
Are these actually Uggs?
These are Uggs, man. You know me. I'm like not buying the fake ones.
Well, I don't know, dude. I listened to a podcast once.
So you're actually gonna buy these?
I would, man. I listened to a podcast once. The guy who came, like, who made Uggs or like the brand. The podcast is sweet. It was like his stories are awesome, actually.
Really? I held off forever on these, but they look so comfortable and big Gus.
Aren't they?
They're supposed to. They were like originally meant for dudes, and then like.
Really?
Yeah, they were supposed to be for guys. They're surfing boots or surfing shoes or whatever.
Really?
They're really sheepskin, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
if
it's
you
like,
want to touch them, you can.
I'm not gonna stick my hand in your shoes.
Go for
Rub
it.
my face.
Go for it. They're calling them mugs. The girls around here make fun of me because I wear these and I got my Crocs and I got my white Air Jordans. My white Air Jordans flip-flops, and nobody likes those, but I'm all about the comfort, man. And
Yeah.
you man enough. I'm man enough to wear Uggs. What do I care?
The dude like drove around in a van and like sold them at the beach like Uggs, like the brand.
You're not supposed to wear socks in there.
No. So you're supposed to be like get out of the water, put them on. It's
really?
Cool, yeah.
Slick. I want a pair. Send me the site. What is it? Just Ugg site?
Yeah. Well, I think so. Danny ordered them. You have to ask her. I think she got it on that. What's that thing? That shoe site.
I don't know.
No. Nobody knows.
Island Wonder Rock
Comes to me all the time, but yeah. Anyways, I guess we're on, eh? Are we on?
Yep.
Welcome to the Tango 1 podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Tony Smith. Today, joining me, I got a couple of guest hosts. I won't call them guests because these guys both been on the show multiple times. Third or fourth time each, I think now. Even more maybe for you, Corey. So I got Coach Corey V, a.k.a. Level 10 with me, and Mike DiFazio is with me again. And today we are just going to be on here. We're going to shoot the shit about anything and everything, like as you can already see from man Uggs to B.L.A.S.T camp is coming, so we want to chat about that a little bit because I know you guys both want to be involved and you guys are both graduates. And then I don't know, talk about instruments, talk about sports, whatever it goes. Wherever it goes. Shin tattoos.
Shin tattoos. You can talk about
Shin tattoos. So yeah, Cor, what do you got, man? What's new?
I don't know. It's just gym's feeling pretty good lately. You know, everybody's coming in. It's a nice environment. Got a lot of new faces, a lot of curiosity about the gym, which is nice to see. And you know, obviously with the new full-time job switch.
Yeah, man, that's what I was going to get at.
That's a big one. Yeah, so making that transition was big, and coming here every day. Honestly, man, it feels so good. Like I said before, like I used to dread like the weekends, and like I remember Friday I'd be like taking a shower after FYF or whatever. I'm like, okay, how much do I got to get done? I got to make sure I have a good weekend because come Monday I got to dread going to work. And then I was sitting there and I'm like, you know what? No, Monday wakes up, I'm ready to rock. Like I don't feel like I had to dread going to work anymore.
Sick. I've actually always wondered like what that would ever feel like a full career change like that.
Yeah, so since the last time Corey's on the show, for anybody who doesn't know, he had like a factory job that paid him pretty well.
Very good paying job, yes.
And he took the big jump, kind of like you're like the fourth person at the garage gym to do this now, man. It's crazy.
Sick.
I feel like I love it.
The culture is strong here.
I love it.
I don't want to steal the show on it, but like, yeah, it was a big move, and like it really. Like I knew one time in my life I always did, part-time coaching. I always did training. I always did nutrition with people. And like, I've always been part of a gym, and I did it part-time and I loved it. It wasn't even work. It didn't feel like work. That's why I kept it alive so much. And I love it. And I knew I was going to make the jump, but I just didn't know when. And took me a little bit, and finally, being a part of the gym and you, Tony, big inspiration, and just like, it's now or never, right? And if I don't do it now, the next 20 years will just fly by, and I wouldn't be in the same spot,
Yeah, man. I find when like things get like that with me, it's like I feel like every day it's like, oh my god, it's Friday again, and like not in a good way, like not like it's Friday, like it's like the weekend's
week
coming,
flew.
but it's like, how the fuck is it Friday again? And it's like, and you don't, I feel like I'm not, when I'm like got my head down, nose to the grind kind of thing, you like miss everything that's going on in the world, and it's Friday,
Yeah, I had a hard time with that actually, like a real big hard time with that for the last like I don't know. So I've been building for 11 years now, but the last, I want to say maybe 7 years was grindstone. Like, I missed birthday parties, I missed friends parties, family parties, I missed all these good times because like now I'm making it a point now to go experience these things with my friends and family that I never did before because my head was down the entire time. They were talking about all these stories and this and that from when we did this 3 summers ago, 4 summers ago. Do you remember that? Do you remember this? And I'm like, I missed all of it. I don't know it.
Yeah.
Like, and it sucks to me. But I mean, at the same time, if without those, I don't know if I'd be where I'm at. So like, I'm thankful for what I've done, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of like I have to deal with some of the consequences of being that hard in the grind and not knowing any different at the time, right? Like now, when I tackle the work that I'm doing now, it's different because I'm aware that if you do this like this, you're eventually going to lose out on these things. People call this balance, but I don't think it's balance. I think it's like a certain type of focus, because you can focus here, and then you can focus there, and then you can go back here. But people call it balance. I don't think that's balance, because when I'm focused here, I want like 100% pure focus here.
Yeah.
And then it's complete the tasks, focus here now, and it's like give time to this, give time to that, right? That's crazy.
Yeah. Like for me, it was always with the people who are like, oh, do you regret you're doing 20 years at the police station and all these things? It's like, absolutely not. Like, one, I don't know, and you're the same. I mean, you're self-built right from the start, which is like amazing. But like, I don't know, like if you hadn't had your old place, the factory, and if I hadn't had the police, like I wouldn't have the house I live in now. I wouldn't have some of the the other investments that are helping me to get through, when business goes up and down, like, for the last couple of years, obviously it's been a threat to the gym industry,
right?
But like, yeah, there's no regret there. And I fucking loved being a cop, man. I loved it, and then at a certain point I woke up and I didn't. And then that's when it was like, I need to start searching for another means. I always say, like, if they wouldn't have changed the rules on SWAT to tenure me out, not just me, but everybody, like they made a time limit, maybe I'd still be there. And I don't think I'd be as well off. And I don't mean financially, I mean like just as well off, like as a human being and family and health and all these things.
Of course, yeah.
So at the end of the day, some of these things are, that was a turning point in your life, and I don't think you'll regret it no matter what.
No, and I like you said, Tony, that build up, like it. I'm grateful for the money I made and the stability I made for myself and kind of comfort, but it is still scary making that jump, and but I love what I do and just gonna keep rocking, and it feels good every day. Just feels good.
Like change in general is scary though.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You guys were just talking about downstairs, you and Danny, right? It's like exciting though.
Yeah, it's exciting, but still scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like with change and with like making the jump and all these things, like one thing is like, man, like knock on wood, if your place like completely went under, your business, like completely went under, the whole freaking block burned down or something, you'd be fine.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You'd find a way. Like you've got something, you've got a skill set, you've got a personality, you've got an energy, you've got this mindset. You'll succeed. You'll find a way to make it happen. Yeah.
So like I talk about this all the time actually. Like if you took away everything that I had right now, well, one, you wouldn't be able to actually take away everything from me. You couldn't.
Because you've diversified so much.
Not even that. Like if you took away all of those things, diversified, portfolio, whatever you want to talk about, all of those, if you took it all away, I would still be better off than I was, because it's the knowledge. Like when the more you learn and the older you grow, when you have all these experiences, your floor gets higher. So the bottom isn't as low as it ever was, and it'll never be back down there again, because you know how to walk, you know how to talk, you know how to open a bank account, you know how to sell something. These are things that like you're never gonna forget, right? And sales especially, sales are a huge one. and how to build a team and how to have systems and systems in place. Like when all those things are there, when you have the knowledge and the experience of having those things, your floor gets higher. So the more you learn, even if you're failing and you fail and huge, it's okay because that floor's higher. You're never going to be back at square one. Square one does not exist anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, you built up all
Right.
that.
You hear me say this in the gym all the
Yeah.
time, and I've probably even said it at B.L.A.S.T camp. Like, you stand on the floor, you hang from the ceiling. So keep raising the floor, keep putting more concrete under you, put more foundation under you, and so that you can raise the peak. Because I mean, in fitness, if you're gonna go for your deadlift PR, that's hanging from the ceiling, right? You're gonna go get that, and then you gotta fall down. You're gonna fall down to your floor, right? And your floor is all those 5x5 good workouts you've done that can keep raising that number up, so you can be. And it's the same. I find it's the same in finances. I think it's the same in business. Your floor constantly goes up. So in good times, like right now, when you're killing it and you're hanging on the ceiling because like we're at a spike, right?
Yeah.
And now here comes maybe some bad times for some people are coming right now, right? The economy and if you got the floor at a certain place, you're not going to fall so far.
Right. It's the same thing as having your foundation built
I'm gonna
properly.
throw that thing right through the window in a second.
This one? Oh my God! Sorry, man.
He is the most popular man in the world. just so you
I'm gonna
guys
turn
know.
this one off. I'm gonna turn it off because I thought I had it off, but.
There we go.
So the other thing, sort of like that, is like building the foundation properly. Is when, like, I've always been taught to treat this like a staircase, right? Like they say, the higher you climb, the harder you fall. Not if the foundation is built properly, because if the foundation is built properly and there's a staircase, if you fall at the 10th step, you might only fall down to the 9th step. Because if you built it properly, the problem is when you start moving too fast, the foundation is not built, you start going from the 5th step to the 12th step to the 24th step. The 24th to the 12th, which is where the last step you built proper, is a lot further of a fall. So that'll hurt 10 times more. But if you took the time to build everything properly, strong, you make sure you got your team, you got your pieces in place, you're only going to fall from 24 to 23, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. And actually, to be honest with you, I encourage that you do it more often.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Fall?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the faster you fall, the faster you succeed. Like the faster you fail, the faster you succeed. And that's all okay. And honestly, I feel like it's not encouraged enough.
I think they say fail faster.
Yeah, fail fast, fail forward, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
for us
good.
with the garage gym, it was like we were still cops. Like all of our attention wasn't here. We had two new little kids, right? And the gym's going, and we went from like 30 customers to like from our garage with 30 people come in here. I think 24 came with us from our house to this building, and then we had 100 customers like that.
Sick.
And you want to talk about that's one of those steps. So where it was a problem. It was a great problem. Don't get me wrong. We went from like imagine step 5 to step 15. Like you just gave that example, but we realized like we had no infrastructure, we had no systems, we had no employees, like, and we were like trying to hold down. It was like I had to like when I went in and asked for my leave of absence, which was denied. Anyways, to that guy. But at the end of the day, that guy gave me the best thing ever, was that not deny my leave of absence. But my pitch for the leave of absence was that this business is going to become a hindrance. It's doing so well, it's becoming a hindrance because we couldn't keep up and we had nothing. That's when I hired, and then that's where you got to also suck up your pride. I hired Dan and Joe. Dan and Joe from Varsity House, who are still great friends of mine, the Business Strength. I swear by them. I've recommended them to so many gyms.
Great guys.
And they helped me put in systems. And it was a lot more work. Like you're doing some of that system stuff now. It's a lot more work to go back and like input 100 people than it would have been to input one at a time as we got them in. But that set us up for the moves we've made since, expanding into Kingsville, and now maybe some more big news coming. Who knows? But as we start to make moves, the more of the infrastructure you have, the better you're going to be able to absorb that and teach it and like get people on your team doing those roles, because you're going to need to delegate some of that work.
That reminds me, like what you were saying, like, ask for leave of absence. When I was leaving and I gave my first, I'll never forget this, and no names, great guys I worked with, nothing bad, but I went in and said my goodbyes and handshake and everything, and I walked in, I said I'm leaving, and the first thing that he said to me was like, no one leaves here. And I said I'm leaving, and he was just shocked that no one leaves, and like it fired me up so much that like no matter what happens, like I'm going to give it all I got, and I will rely on, like, I'm grateful that I'm not completely going out on my own. Tony, I got you. Like, I'm a part of this gym, and like, and you've given me a platform to like be me completely, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I made that decision to leave, because I know I'd be okay, because I can be who I am and provide so much value that I love doing. So I'm just gonna give it 100%. That fired me up that day so much, and I'll never forget that. I don't
Good,
think
man.
I'll ever forget that.
It should fire you up in a real good way. Like, nobody ever leaves here. That makes you fucking unique.
Yes, that's
Like,
amazing.
you know, like so very many people, actually, I taught Irv this the other day. So on the Tango One Solutions logo there, Tango One, the Tango One podcast here, the asterisk. So what that is the bad guys circles of you know, like criminal organizations, is they call themselves the 1%ers, right? Which is like the 1% of bad guys who create violent crimes. But in this, what the asterisk stands for us is we're the 1% of like the tier 1 police officers. So being that 1%, man, those are like, that's something great. Like that guy paid you a compliment.
Yeah.
Nobody ever leaves here.
That's
Well,
the
I
ego
just did.
boost for sure.
Yeah,
I just did.
Yeah,
And I'm never coming back.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, like, I mean, maybe worst thing, I always said worst thing, you know, worst came to worst, I still have a great resume at the police, and I still have a good connection with a lot of people. Maybe not the guy that I just shot the finger to, but he's done. So, but, you know, like, you could just go back with your tail between your legs, and, but, you know, I don't think it'll ever come to that. I don't think I ever would want to either. Like, I don't think I'd ever want to go back into that role or that job.
Oh, I couldn't. There's no way. I don't think I could physically or mentally handle having to do it.
Yeah.
Nor do I think I would ever need to, because I'm usually, I mean, if I have to suck up my pride if something ever got really, really tough, sure, that's a different story. But like having the idea of going back, I could not do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, in a couple weeks, I'm actually heading up north. I'm going up to Collingwood, and I'm going to be helping out at the tactical conference for like the whole province, which I'm really excited for. But it's also like I get to share some of the great things I've done. I'm going to get to see some of the great people I've worked with and share some great memories and meet some new guys who are, you know, and girls who are on their way up in that world. And that'll be great. I'm going to get like parachute in and then parachute out. And, you know, I'm going to learn something for sure, which is always applicable to B.L.A.S.T and applicable to all the leadership consulting I've been starting doing. And that will always pay off. But like, it's like, I love this world. I respect the hell out of the guys and girls who do that and risk their lives. But at the same time, I'm like, you know, I'm taking that skill set and I'm applying it to other places, helping other people in different ways, which is a pretty sweet thing.
It's important for sure.
Pretty sweet thing. So, what do you think, Core? You gonna go back on B.L.A.S.T?
Yeah. All day.
Oh, you're level 10.
All day.
We added an element the last.
I got some pumpkins to steal or some watermelons.
Yeah.
So we got a couple of B.L.A.S.T graduates here. I know, Mike, you sent me a really awesome message. Like, sometimes, like, I feel like, man, like, you get, like, I was bummed out. I was, like, having trouble selling this thing. And, like, you know, it's like, you just got so many things. I'm like, should I even do it again? And then you get a message like that, and it's like fate.
Yeah.
Like, a message comes through, and you're like, oh, I got to do this thing again. Because at the end of the day, this is just about, you know, introducing men to different skill sets and mindsets that hopefully they can apply to whatever part of their life or find a new hobby that they love. So maybe what do you think? What was your biggest takeaway?
The biggest takeaway for me was just being around other men. Honestly, like in the sense that's like I talked about this at the end of the camp actually, where I was saying that just being around guys who have families, wives, people that rely on them to provide and care for, protect, like all the things that we talk about at B.L.A.S.T, it was like a different type of motivation for me. I don't have those things. Or at the time, I didn't have any of those things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like a guy, I got a dog, I got a team. Sure, like I love my team to death, but like, it's not the same. Like you guys got like, I was almost jealous of the fact that these people have so much more to fight for. And like so much more to protect that's what got me the most. And I'm like, even
That's
there,
an interesting view.
And I feel like it's probably what most people would never expect from that. Honestly, like we're there shooting guns and like doing all these crazy workouts and stuff. Like with a group of guys that I just met hours before, and we left there. And I'm like, I look up to these guys for reasons that to be fair, most people actually see as like a hindrance. My wife this, I can't do that, my kids this and that, and I'm looking at it like, you get to do this because you do have a wife, you get to do this because you do have kids, you get to do these extra things that I don't have that yet. So like it was just different. It was a whole different experience for me to be around people, like strong men and like leaders that are handling their own and protecting their own, like on that scale. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's so much more than just like it's more than just going to a camp to me. Like it wasn't like that. It was,
yeah, we're not playing G.I. Joe in the woods, man. Like
no,
I know
like,
that's the impression some people get, and maybe that's through my marketing and things like that, but you know, I think that's it. I went into I went into a coffee shop the other day. This is like my moment of fame. On Saturday, when before we met you, I went to grab coffees, me and Casey, and we walk into this little coffee shop, and somebody's like, "Hi," I'm like, "Hey," I'm like, I don't know, like, and then I could feel like the other person's like looking at me too, and then they say, "You know, you're the guy who runs those camps," and it's two women, and they're like kids are sitting there, and then she's like, well, "Why don't you do one for men or for women? Why don't you allow women?" And I'm like, at first I could feel like, you know, like I'm like, oh, here goes, I'm about to get in an argument.
Yeah.
Right, like, and I don't want that at all.
No,
that's
for
the
sure.
last thing I want. And I gave the answer, like basically what I'm saying, like my answer. Why do I do this for men? I think women are doing great. Like, like this gym is 90% women because women get off their ass and do something about their lives. Women are way more likely than us, and I don't know that this is a stat. This is just my observation from being around 250 members I get a pretty good petri dish. Women are more likely to do what they need to do to improve where they see weaknesses. Men are so fucking happy to just sit and do nothing, and like, you know, and essentially decay. Let gravity, like, you know, father time, pull at you. You know, just drink beer and talk about the goals you scored. You know, like that.
The good old
like,
days. Yeah.
You know, and there's a time for that. Don't get me wrong. I love doing that, but like there should be a lot of other things going on, and that's kind of what I explained to this woman, and also like how you receive something is on you, right? I thought it was a fight, and she was actually just asking an honest question, and she's like, "Well, I love what you're doing." That was her response, and you're like, "Oh." You know, like, so I think people are so scared to put themselves out there, and I felt that fear, and I just like let it go, you know, like a polite, like educated way, and we actually have having a great discussion. It was like, you know, it was nice. It's nice to see, and I think that's our greatest impact is men coming back and being, hearing from their spouses. I hear from their spouses like that they're more connected, they're more present, that they're more determined.
So
like
aware.
I think
that's huge.
Yeah, I think that's just the guys get together and we open up and talk, like, and we battle things out together, and we like that camaraderie that's built. It's fused under like tension, and you're not, you know, there's sleepless nights. We're working together. We gotta communicate. We gotta talk. That fusion there of like working together builds that camaraderie, builds that teamwork,
Yes.
and then we build each other up, and then your confidence grows. So then one step after another, and then you open up and show some vulnerability, show some weakness, and then, yeah, I can do that and still be successful. And I think that that's a part of men that I think that we're the little bit that missing is like showing that little vulnerability, showing the fact that like you are weak at times, but you're willing to fucking do something about it. I think that that's what B.L.A.S.T brings out in a lot of guys, truly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a quote from Hamlet, maybe Shakespeare. It's for he who sheds blood with me shall be my brother. And like that kind of, like that's the kind of what we put you through. It's like, yeah, you're not shedding blood, but you're wrestling each other. You're out in the woods.
Yeah.
Like you're competing against each other. You're working with each other. Like we kind of like, you're sleeping in the same little terrible, like bunks as like next to each other. You know, like there's something that goes on with that now after just, that camp's only like not even 70 hours. I say 70, but it's really like closer to like 55, 60 hours.
Honestly, it feels like a week.
But the camaraderie that comes from that battle together that allows you to sit around the campfire and kind of like get some things out. Because like men, we are the problem. You know, I know everybody's saying like, oh, you know, we're getting canceled and this and that, but you know what? Men are the ones who cause violence for the most part. We're speaking in generalities, but like, I mean, pull up the stats. We're the ones who are killing ourselves. You know, we're the ones, you know, like I said, are being lazy. And I think that's like, so if we're going to take ownership of that as a gender, well, then that's, maybe we deserve to be canceled if we're not going to do anything about it.
Fair.
Right. And it's not about like, you know, pinning people down and taking it. It's about like being what you should be. And that doesn't make the woman next to you any less. All that's going to do is make the woman next to you more.
Of course, yeah.
Right? That makes her stronger.
Yeah.
And she makes you stronger, and vice versa, or whatever that relationship is in your life. It doesn't have to be about man and woman. It's just like anything, right? I think that's what the huge part of it is. And I hope like the skill set though, like that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Like that's the part that, you know, I hope that you guys bring something home with.
Yeah. It was awesome. Like learn how to fight, wrestle, like the what's it called? The first aid. Like that style first aid. Super cool. Like all my guys learned what I learned that weekend, the same like the week I got back to work. So they learned how to put the tourniquets on, and they learned how to like I mean, as much as I could relay the information without the setup that you guys had, which was intense, but
at least you have something to take away.
Yeah,
like,
man. When
you never know, like if the situation arises, like you're that guy. And
well, yeah, it's like the one thing I took away from that course a lot is like we are the first. Like the person, if you're at an event and something happens, you're the first responder. Whether or not you're the firefighter, the cop, whatever, like you are the first guy there. You need to at least know how to like stop someone from bleeding to death or like de-escalate a situation. Like that's a very important thing. Like that's all we need is another guy screaming in the corner.
Right.
Because something's intense is happening, you know what I mean? Like you don't need that guy. Like let's de-escalate this and figure it out. Like this is what we need more of. We need to understand that that's an issue, because I think that where most of these issues are coming from is because we're not aware of them.
Right. That's a huge. So for me, it's like, sure, we're teaching like what we're teaching there. We are not teaching you how to kill people. We're teaching how to protect yourself, save somebody. Should you become the victim of like a terrible accident or the victim of random violence, which is, it's rare, but
a car accident.
A car accident.
You know what I mean?
That's the biggest one. That's the biggest take. I mean, the biggest lesson we're teaching there is probably that first aid that, Branchy does.
Yeah.
It's like, that is first aid that's going to save you, which, the CPR and stuff that people do in the St. John's thing, there's a purpose to it. There's a place, but that is not going to keep you alive when you're out on the farm. We got a lot of farmers here, put a chainsaw through your artery. Like that's not going to keep you alive.
No.
We want to keep you alive in those unfortunate circumstances. Like what you said is like that's that top, that's the part that you're hanging on, that's the peak, that's the ceiling. But I want to raise your floor, like we talked about earlier. I want you to avoid situations, like situational awareness.
Yes.
Avoid it. Understand what the consequence is, and that is, and plan. Like we talk about situational awareness, de-escalation. We spend way more time on that than we do on the sharp edge of that, like hand-to-hand combat, right? Because if you can avoid a situation, the hand-to-hand combat doesn't ever happen, right? And you don't really want to get into a fight with somebody. It's very easy to lose a fight. Yeah. I've been in lots of them, and it's very easy to lose a fight. Like, so let's try to avoid it. And especially when you see some of these guys, like the guys who teach ours, Carmen and and Bones, like
I could not even imagine.
Like these men could. I'm a pretty strong guy, and I've been in a lot of fights, and I've been in a lot of crazy. These two guys who are very unassuming to look at, could kill me. Like so easy. Like he tapped me out 15 times the other day in 3-minute round. And he wasn't trying. So there's like these people exist in the world, and I don't want to run across them. I'd much rather avoid the whole situation through, just all out avoidance, or to be able to de-escalate the situation and get out of there calmly. And what does all that stuff teach you? It's applicable to business.
Oh, of course.
It's applicable to everything. It's applicable to firefighting, policing, carpentry. It's all applicable. It's life. It's even how you handle things inside your own home.
Yeah, I was gonna say not even physical. Like the confidence and the communication skills that are built, getting along with others, like just like learning about people's weaknesses and strengths,
and your own,
and utilizing. Okay, knowing that, hey, I'm not strong at this right now. Maybe I'm gonna have this guy, team member. He's gonna do this because he's stronger. I'm gonna check my ego for a quick second, and I'm gonna be like, it's your job, and I'll help you out. What do you think we should do? You know what I mean? And that's where I think you could take that too, not just with like physical aspect, like just communication.
Yo, man. Sure. Yeah, like, well, what's the thing that Luso always says? And there's like the communication one is like crisis negotiation is the same as communicating for a sale. The same as having an effective conversation with my wife about an issue that might be a hot topic, in the household. And it's like, just little things like don't say but. The second that you say,
on that one.
You say, I understand what you're saying, but once you say but, you basically said everything they said before. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
right?
I'm working on that.
You know,
I've
like-
been working on that too. I catch myself saying it and typing it out.
Oh, it's like
as well.
typing
Yeah.
is the worst.
I-
You're like, you have to hit it 3 times to spell it. It's like,
Yeah.
where you just say it, it's like one syllable, or you gotta put B-U-T. It's like,
Yeah.
delete. Fuck.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly,
I gotta check
exactly.
myself now.
I
I'm like,
know.
okay, where am I actually coming from with this? Yeah.
Exactly, and then having a plan, like why do I, like I think it was Stephen Grott who asked me, the great question was, he's like, doesn't all this like constantly assessing and the situational awareness, doesn't it like just exhaust you and stress you out? I'm like, no, actually the opposite. It gives me a ton of confidence. It gives me a ton of confidence where I'm not anxious because I know I have a plan. I
Yeah.
have a plan for what might happen.
You've
And,
created your brain.
it's like, and the example that Chris Lusso says is such a great one. He's been on the podcast. You guys want to listen to that one? It's such a great podcast. He's like, when you go into the fridge to grab a beer, do you open the fridge door and get startled? It's like, no, you went in there to grab a beer. You expected the beer to be in there.
Yeah.
So the same thing is applicable on a much larger scale. You go to the cottage, you have yourself a plan. If somebody's going to get hurt, when it happens, you're not nearly as startled. Yeah, it's going to shake you, of course, but you're already you're not in crisis mode. You're in problem solving mode.
Yes.
Which is where you want to be as the protector of yourself and your family.
Yeah.
Right. What is it? The time to plan is over. Or the time to prepare is over when you need to act. Right.
Yes.
When it's time to act. There's no more time to prepare. So you better
You gotta be ready.
better be ready.
Yeah, and too with training and fire and police and like doing a lot of training. I was told once by a captain, he's like, why we train so much is because you're like in an emergency situation, they have fight or flight, but you're training. Like, what are you gonna freeze? Are you gonna run? Like, you're gonna run? Are you gonna act? That your training is that middle ground where it's like, I know what I need to do. I'm gonna do it. And now I'm not gonna flee or I'm gonna freeze. I'm gonna resort on my training. I'm gonna resort on my plan
Yeah.
and follow it through.
Exactly.
It's almost like a muscle memory at that point. Well, not necessarily muscle memory, but it's like, it's just a habit. You've created a habit with all the training. It's like, this is what you do when this happens. You don't have to think about it. You just do it.
Right, yeah, because that fight or flight is already automatically your body's going to do it, but that training cuts it right in the middle.
The training is going to speed up your ability to react.
Yes.
Right? So, like, action will always beat reaction. Right?
Yes.
But the more trained you are, the more you can close that gap.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the more trained you are, like we did a drill to prove this. Like, we put it was a paint gun, obviously, but put it on the table in front of one of our actors, and trained SWAT guys carrying machine guns were unable to get that shot off when they came through a door before the guy could grab the gun and shoot them. Right? Action always beats reaction, because this guy knew they were coming through the door. The guys on the other side of the door don't know what's going to happen.
Ah, yes.
But as a SWAT guy, you should be
expecting the door to open.
expect there to be, not just expect, want the guy to be behind that door.
Yeah.
Like, that's closing the gap. That's the mindset. That's the opening the fridge and not getting startled. Expect somebody to be behind that door. Want somebody to be behind that door, right? And then you're gonna close that gap. We win. You should. You might be slow, but you should be able to finish the job, get your job done, right? It's a pretty crazy world, and I love how it applies over, and how now going into these businesses and like talking about this stuff with people, making them realize like this is the same thing, man.
Yeah.
It transfers over. It's you want your team to be a bunch of people who can think, right? You want everybody on your team to think.
Yeah.
And because if they're all thinking,
Decision
they're
makers.
problem solving.
Yeah, decision making.
And then what happens? The problems don't come to you. Like, that was like I remember a team leader saying to me when I was a junior guy on the team, like maybe mid-seniority guy on the team, and there was some stupid mistake somebody made, and it was like, and I go to him, and he's like, and he looks at me, he's like, Smitty, what the fuck is this even getting to me? And I'm like, you're the team leader, and there's a big mistake. He's like, are you a leader? Why'd you solve this problem? I have other things I'm working on, and I need to get these things done. Handle it. He's like, I don't expect you to come to me that, like, this shit shouldn't come to me. And
Right.
that's like that, and that, that hits home.
Yeah.
And here it's like, that this shit shouldn't get up to me. Like, you
It's
guys
true.
should be handling on your level. Why are you not handling that, right? Like,
I think
and then why you're not handling that, it's my fault. I did not empower you to handle that. And that, what he said to me, I was like, yeah, you know what? Never again. Unless I absolutely need to, will I bother him with something like this? I'm going to handle it.
Yeah.
More people doing stuff like that.
true.
When it comes to like my team, when they come to me with a question about something, like say a project or something, it's like, well, what do we do?
Yes.
And they're like, well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. I'm like, well, I'm asking you, what do we do? Because you're the one working on it. Like, I want to know. Like, if you're gonna come bug me, at least have some sort of plan. And my guys are actually really good with this now, because if I never went at it, if I never approached a situation like that, I would be getting all the questions still.
Now to come back to you guys on that one, to me come from here now, working where I was, it was like you go in, you know what you're doing, you don't even really have to think. You just go and do your 8 hours and go home. Now making the transition here, it's been a huge transition for me because now it's like, yeah, I have to think on my own. I have to strategize. I have to make up a plan. You give me the opportunity to make the plan. So it's like, it's something where it's like I was handed to for so many years, not realizing how it doesn't promote growth, like stuff like that. So having a business and having a supervisor or a boss let you the reins to grow, it helps, and I see it in myself.
Right, and you're laying a foundation. What you're doing there is laying a foundation, because whoever that was, Tristan or Mike or whoever comes into your office with a solution to the problem, or at least some kind of steps towards a solution, right? The person, the new guy you hire in the shop, is going to go to them with a question, and they should kind of be responding the same way.
That's something I got.
What do you think we should do?
Yeah.
And it's not to make anybody feel dumb. It's to get them thinking about a solution. And then, and a lot of times that first 5 times somebody comes in your office, their solution is not even that good, but you've got them thinking towards it, and then you help them fill it in.
Yeah, like I have no problem.
Right? So that's creating culture. That's a trickle. Yeah. That's the trickle that's going to go down and down and down. And then as, maybe you have 40 fucking people working for you at some point, like 50 people, 150 people, everybody's of that same mindset. That's culture. That's a winning culture. Problem solving.
It's healthy too.
Critical thinking, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, like a lot of the times, I still have more to say. Like I want to hear their solution, not because I'm expecting it to be right all the time, just because I want to hear them think. And a lot of the times, I'm still like, that's a great idea, but I think this is quicker, right? Like I'm the numbers guy. Like, how do we actually make this work so that it still works for the company too? So like, why don't we try this? Because when it comes down to like with what we do in our shop, I give them point A, point B, point C, point D, whatever to get for like the build out of our projects. I don't care how you get to point A. I don't care how you get to point B. Get me from point A to point B, and you guys figure it out. There's going to be a way that you're going to do it that might even be better than the way that I'm doing it. And to be honest, that's what I'm expecting from my guys at this point. They've been with me for so long. I actually I want you guys to be better than me now. I want to hear better solutions. I want to hear better everything. Yeah. And they're there. Like my guys are there now. Yeah, and it's awesome. It's awesome. It's a great feeling, right? It's amazing. It's beautiful because they've taught themselves. I've taught them obviously a lot, but for the most part at this point, the new challenges, because I'm not back there as much, they're teaching each other and they're learning on their own. They're on YouTube. You don't know the answer? Go on YouTube, because they'll come to me with a problem sometimes. I'm like, let me check YouTube, because I don't know it either. Yeah. Now they just pull YouTube up on their phone and they're looking at it before they even ask me the question. It's amazing.
That's so good. And take that like the next level is when somebody comes to you with a problem and you ask for their solution. You're gonna get something that's unbiased towards you, like that you might stick out the only way that you know how to solve that problem is what I should say. Maybe not biased, but the only way I know how to solve that problem is with this hammer. Yeah. When maybe they showed you what their solution is to do it with this screwdriver. Like if you would have given them that, none of that would have happened. So now you've learned from something, and this has just happened in here with us, you and Joe. Yeah. With the thing we're gonna be launching. You guys are interested in encouraging people listening. Like Corey's got an amazing program that's gonna be coming out soon, and you guys we were all knocking our heads off the table trying to figure this thing out, and we left it at that. We said like, hey, you know what? You guys go sit down, come back with something, and then we'll brainstorm it again. What you came back with was something I had not thought about whatsoever, and it was a better idea. And I think it's going to be killer, and it's it's going to make the members super happy, and it's going to be a huge value for them, and it's going to work out well for us. Right. And it always works out well for us when the customers love it. Right.
For sure. And it's the ownership thing that we always talk about. Like right. That's like your baby now. That's yours.
And I have pride in it. Yeah. And it's like and it's gonna be good, and it's nice to have that. I don't want to say free reins, but it's nice to have that ability as like you guys are business owners, but I'm also an employee, and it's nice to have that flexibility.
It's like a support.
Yeah, it's nice to when you have the trust, and I get it totally. It's nice.
Good.
It's good.
Let's take that second and we'll talk about great teams. I want to talk to you guys about Team Murray Insurance. Ian and Karen Murray, Kingsville OGGs. These guys are killing it all the time. They're giving back to our community. They're giving back. They're hiring local, and they are doing great things for their members. They are a one-stop shop for home and insurance, auto insurance, financial planning. They can help you with all of it. Give them a call. Reach out to them on Instagram is probably the best way, at Team Murray Insurance, and tell them that Tango One sent you. You won't be disappointed. Yes, I read that one in like almost like I had it read.
That was slick.
So
pretty impressive.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, man, you guys are on like, well, you know why? Because HQ Focus.
Yeah.
Right. Because I took my Focus. I always take my HQ Focus before these things. That nootropics, so good for all my brain damage from like concussions and blows to the head from this guy in MMA practice. But it's HQ Focus is the best. Go to HQ Nutrition and look them up. HQnutrition.ca and use code Tango15 to save on your next order.
Yeah.
What are you popping right now? What are you doing?
Like an HQ and black coffee going.
HQ and black coffee. Yeah, these guys are both on 75 hard, so I respected that, and I also poured myself a coffee in this beautiful mug that Corey bought me for Christmas.
Nice.
Health, mindset, and accountability.
Love it.
Yes.
This guy's badass, by the way. I took a couple days. I was like, I think I'm gonna do 75 hard. I'm gonna do 75 hard. I'm gonna do it. And Lisa's like, just do it. I'm like, done. I'm doing it. And then I'm like, I text Corey within seconds. He's like, or I said, I'm doing 75 hard. We're starting today. And he's like, done. Within 20 minutes, he was like walking. He's doing his outdoor cardio, and I'm like, this guy had no time to even think about it. He's just like, done. I'm signing up. I'm like, it's a long road.
It's a fuck yes or fuck no, right, Tony?
It's a fuck yes or a fuck no, and that was a fuck yes for you the other night.
Man.
We all went out. Corey came out, and we got lit, and
the test.
That was an
days.
experience.
Yeah.
Being around everyone being sober and myself sober and everyone just having, it brought it back a little bit, and it felt good Sunday morning waking up and just attacking the day. And
I'm like,
it's crazy how much booze can really screw you up.
Oh, it's like long term, man. Like I'm already like what am I like just over a weekend, and I'm like my energy levels through the roof. I'm like 6 hours of sleep all I even need right now, and I'm like up and going. Alarm goes off. I'm out the door. I'm like I'm on it now. I love it. This is why I wanted to do it again. Honestly.
Yeah.
I think Corey, we'd be doing an injustice though if we didn't give credit to, if you guys haven't been to Coma on Dougal. I don't get paid for this. I actually paid a lot of money to say this for dinner. We had dinner there the other night, and it was quite possibly, and I'm a guy who loves food and loves going to nice places to eat, and it was possibly the best meal I've ever had.
Oh, I'm saying for sure.
Like
in my life,
it was. We did the chef's choice, so we didn't know what was coming out, and every single platter that came out, the servings were ridiculously huge, which was awesome.
I think it was called the taste. I think it's called the taste. You asked for the taste, but then my thought, I'm like the taste. I'm thinking like these are gonna be small little meals. Came out huge platters,
and
awesome.
and then you think, okay, huge platters, family style, like maybe like it's like you're thinking like weddings that we used to go to and stuff. But it was freaking amazing. Like I would hands down. If you haven't tried it, go there and maybe if you're listening, Coma.
Yeah.
We could get a sponsor thing going for some of those lamb chops.
That'd be amazing. That food was just cool. It's quality.
It was quality too.
So quality food, great healthy choice. Like just great food, great taste, just perfect.
Yeah, man.
Have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's on the plans? Anything? Guys got anything in the cards you want to talk about, or you want to share? Nothing. What's next on the real estate front, on the business front? You're always working on something. But
there's 2 buildings in the works right now.
Hold your cards tight.
There's two buildings in the works right now. 2 of them are under construction. One of them is honestly so big. It's a little bit. I'm a little overwhelmed with it right now, but it's also why I'm so excited about it. Yeah. I'm going to learn so much dealing with this, even if I fall flat on my face, which would not be cool. I don't think I am, but it's because I'm pretty good at planning. But there is so many moving parts. There is so many units. There is so many. The scale of this thing on its own is it's such a new level to me. I'm learning so much, and this is it's awesome and scary at the same time. So I'm like, and once it's done, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge for me. So
Good, man.
it's gonna be huge for our neighborhood, which is also the biggest point and the reason why I do everything that I do for Ford City. Like, that's my jam down there. That's my baby. That's when I've been working on Ford City for 7 years now, and it's finally coming. And I always said it would take about 10 years. Sorry, I've been there for 8 years now. I always said it would take 10 years for the neighborhood to kick off, and it's been 8. 2 more years. I'm hoping Kyle and I and everyone else is working on those buildings down in Ford City. There's a lot more open businesses and stuff, and that's what I'm aiming for. So I'm hoping by the time I'm done, there's going to be another 6 businesses down there. So like that's my main goal. My main goal is bringing in the businesses before we bring in the housing, because if there's good businesses, destination businesses, businesses that you want to keep going to, like return business kind of thing, there will be a higher demand for people to want to live in the units, live in the neighborhood, be a part of the neighborhood and stuff. So that's what we're working on now. So it's been a huge project, but Ford City's like been my thing for a very long time now. And every time I try to get out of there, something falls on my lap, and it's like, all right.
Oh, it's amazing though, man. I mean, I can tell you from being the early 2000s riding down Ford City was not what it looks like now. So it's definitely come a long way, and it's like I was just down there visiting with you last week or whatever that was, and it's a different place. It's a different vibe. I went for a coffee, and I went I would have gone for a beer. I love that place where you sit outside down the street.
Pressure Drop.
Yeah, there's just so many great places down there, and I love it. For me, man, I've just been going all in on this Tango One Solutions thing. I kind of did what I did with policing. Like I just pulled the bottom out from under me. I've given the employees have like all the reins. We're actually overemployed right now at the garage gym to force me to kind of build this next level, and it's been awesome. I've get to work with some great businesses so far, and I'm meeting with a couple more, and doing the leadership. And I'm trying to explain to people, like when I'm going into a business, I actually don't want to go into bad businesses. I want to go in with good growth minded businesses. And I'm not to teach you business. Like I'm not an expert in business. I'm an expert in leadership and culture, and that's what I want to help people to build more of, because if you build more of that, I mean your business will increase. And that's what I've been loving that. That's been so fun to do this, and I'm just lucky. And like everything, you learn something yourself every single time you go in there that's going to apply to one of the businesses that I'm involved with, or real estate or something. It's such a crazy world out there. There's so many people with so much knowledge. You just open your ears to listen.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited for us to keep doing what we're doing with that.
Yeah.
Tango One. So this is gonna be good. I'm excited.
I'm pumped. Like, I got nutrition under my belt now, and I get a bunch of clients coming in.
Yeah.
The whole new specialty program we're probably going to be launching here shortly. It's just it's really exciting that I can finally get all in and really provide to others my true strength and my gift, and I get to give that to others and making a living off it. It's just massive, and I'm excited for those big opportunities, big moves.
Yeah, today we had a real big meeting. Every Monday, like I say, like if you want to build a successful team, like every successful team I've ever been a part of has a lot of good traditions, right? And tradition for us is Monday workouts followed by a team meeting. Today we had a real big team meeting. I have more people here than normal just because we had some big news we wanted to share, and some big opportunities, and we're really, really excited to get rolling here at the garage gym and with my own stuff. And I know you're growing huge, so it's just awesome to be around guys like you all the time. And hopefully we get you a guest experience from level 10 at B.L.A.S.T. And you said you're gonna come out for some.
I gotta be around it again, man. I'm like craving it. I honestly need it. It's like where's level 2 at, or what are we doing, Tony? Where's he?
You're at the B.L.A.S.T. is in the works. And ladies, I know you've been listening. I've been working on I've been promising this. I think I'm gonna do a blast, like a 24-hour blast, where it's gonna be more skill based. I don't think it's in my wheelhouse to sit around the campfire with a bunch of women and try to to get the same thing that I get out of the guys. I just don't think that's my specialty, nor am I comfortable with it. So, but I am very comfortable teaching these skills, and that are have nothing to do with the gender. So I would love to get some women out there and do some of the violent acts and the life saving and all those kinds of things that I think like a lot of the women in our circles would get a great kick out of it, have a lot of fun, and it's a skill set they the more people that know these skills, the safer we're all gonna be.
I agree.
Definitely.
I agree.
That's in the works.
I love it.
So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Head to 10,000. I don't have any gear on today for once, but
I do.
You got it on? Yes,
Woo!
Corey's representing. There we go. We got the 10,000 hat on. Use code Tango15. I've been, those 5-inch shorts are really taking some, I've been wearing them on squat days. I was getting a lot of people. Did you order yours?
I haven't ordered them yet.
5
Or get off
inches.
this
I
toilet,
am
man. Oh my God, everything with you is like this.
I know. It's like pulling teeth and getting
This
me to do
guy
anything.
was supposed to go on Blast for 18 months. It took the longest sale ever.
Yeah,
the longest sale ever.
Like that's how it is with everything with me.
If it
man.
was per conversation that I got paid, I would have lost so much money on that Blast.
And I think when he pulls
I'm
the
a
pin,
hard
you're,
sell, man. I'm a
yeah,
hard
but
sell.
you're all in when you sell.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're all in
Well,
when you
yeah,
buy.
that's exactly it, actually.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody's liking the new set. It's much more relaxed like this.
I'm
It just
digging
feels
it.
like a real cool vibe. And thank you to Urban, IB Marketing, for always hooking us up and doing a great job getting this podcast up on the air. Hope everybody enjoys it. We're over and out.
Now's the time to do more and be more.